走れまといが
走れまといが
シュガンまだら
三刀流
ここはまだら狩り
In anime, there are moments when characters get pushed too far. That's when the smile fades, the atmosphere shifts, and you know things are about to get damn crazy. Today we're looking at exactly these scenes where that limit breaks and the characters finally stop holding back. We start this list with Nico Robin, who doesn't joke around when it comes to protecting her friends and family.
Come on! だからなんだってんだデモニがフルールウランジャグシークラッツ手も足もいらないなんだってうわ
Next up, we got Goku's most iconic transformation ever. After seeing Krillin get wiped out right in front of him, something inside Goku snapped, giving us a moment that changed anime forever. In that instant, his anger exploded and awakened a power no one had ever seen from him before. Now we have an eccentric teacher from Naruto, someone who looks goofy at first but turns terrifying the moment he gets serious. When Madara pushed the battlefield to its limit, Guy opened the 8th gate and unleashed a power so overwhelming that even Madara had to acknowledge him as the strongest man he'd ever faced.
柱間以来だこのワクワクは正義カイこのチャクラ認めてやろうお前を最強と呼んでやる早い何
Moving on, we have a moment where the main character had no other choice but to fight against humans. When the situation looked bad and he faced people who wouldn't stop coming after him, the system, which gives him quests and rules he must follow, but also makes him incredibly strong, stepped in and pushed him past the point of hesitation. In that moment, Jinwoo understood that holding back would only put him in even greater danger.
ドンソクさん、俺がやります。人類最弱兵器さ。
一人目。
強い。
ファンさん、あんたは強い。
絶対に E 級なんかじゃない。
絶えずレベルにしてもそうとした相手に助けを請うのか。
Next, we have a boy who always tries to save everyone, no matter how outmatched he is. When Deku faced Muscular to save that little boy, the situation looked impossible, but he refused to back down. With everything on the line, he showed a level of determination that caught even Muscular off guard.
なんて
遊びはしまいだ。
ダメだ、ビビるな。マンソール 100%。
先より弱えぞ。
大丈夫。走れ。
あんなガキが最高じゃねえか。潰れちまえ。
殺せて。
Entity had to face the Beast Titan. The situation got worse by the second. They knew their chance of surviving was close to zero, but instead of giving up, they chose to fight to the very end to open even the smallest opportunity for humanity's strongest fighter. And what happened next was pure epic.
俺の巨人が倒れて一人の兵士に気をつけろって。こいつがリヴァイか。
さっきは随分と楽しそうだったな。
Next, we have Frieren, someone so calm and harmless looking that most enemies completely underestimate her. But when she faced Aura, that calm expression disappeared, and she showed a level of experience and magical control that instantly flipped the entire battle. Aura learned the hard way that Frieren isn't just powerful, she's on a completely different level.
私には遠く及ばない。私の勝ちよ。あとはこの私直々に少し警戒しすぎた。なんだ。 私の魂を天秤に乗せたな。物量で押されていたら危なかったけれども。どういうこと？私は魔力を制限していた。私は生きてきた時間のほとんどを魔力を制限して過ごした。なんでそんなわけのわからないこと？でもお前たちに勝てる。ふざけるな。9年以上生きた大魔族だ。アウラ、お前の前にいるのは1000年以上生きた魔法使いだ。
魔族が言葉で人を欺くで魔族を欺く。
自害しろ。
Following that, we have the Ghost from the JAA, probably one of the coolest and coldest swordsmen in anime. When two invaders showed up, he stepped in so suddenly that everything changed in an instant. He doesn't talk much, and he doesn't hesitate either, reacting to hostility with sharp, instinctive precision. His movements look so controlled and precise in a way that feels almost effortless.
やべえじじいが来た。無理無理無理無理。
いいところだったのに。
あんなやべえじじいいるなんて聞いてねえって。
宇田君。はーい。
Next, we got another one who turns into an absolute monster when he unleashes his power. When Mob tried to save his brother, the calm kid everyone knew was suddenly gone, because when his emotions overflowed, something inside him snapped in a way you almost never see. Even the people around him knew instantly that things were about to get out of control.
お前、こんなの初めてだ。わかるか。
たちの前に顔を出すな。さっきとは別物。
Now we have a swordsman from Demon Slayer who's always scared in almost every situation. Against a demon, the situation looked bad. They were trying to escape, but in the end, they got stuck. And when there was no way out anymore, the terrified boy everyone knew was suddenly gone. In the end, he revealed a side no one expected.
Kanari no kokyu, 1の型。死んでる。これ何これ、やだ。ありがとう、助かったよ。
Moving on, we have Kafka, someone who's constantly underestimated because he's not strong or athletic on the squad. The humans were fighting a monster, but the situation spiraled out of control. Kafka had no choice but to unleash his true power. In that moment, he stopped holding back and revealed a side of himself that shocked everyone on the battlefield.
Kafka! 待て、なんやその速度。
フォルティチュード 9.8 怪獣8号です。
すみません、星名副隊長。
違和感は持っとった。いつの間にかあいつに惹かれて。
みんなも黙っててごめん。俺だって防衛隊の本田。
Seeing Kafka transform into the very kind of monster the humans had been fighting the entire time created a moment of pure shock. It was a complete reversal of everything the squad believed about him. Because of that, he ended up getting arrested. And if you haven't watched it yet, I really recommend giving it a watch.
お前の仲間はもう助からん。
けなきゃ。
何をされた？
助けなきゃ、助けなきゃ。
俺、危ねえな。
Another character who's like a monster when he reveals his power is Kenji. He looks like the kind farmer you'd meet in a quiet village, always smiling and minding his own business. But once he unleashes his strength, that gentle image disappears instantly, and you realize he's anything but harmless. Up next, we got the student of Might Guy, Rock Lee. Just like his teacher, he has that iconic bowl cut and a work ethic that never stops. And during the exams, when he finally got permission to take off his weights, everything changed instantly. The moment those weights hit the ground, everyone realized Rock Lee wasn't just another student. He was a monster in the making.
他の術はできぬとも、あいつは誰にも負けない。やっぱり天才か。
守りきれない。
Following that, we got Deku's mentor. Even though his strength was almost gone, All Might still stood tall as the symbol of peace. And when everyone was watching, he reminded the world exactly why he once stood at the top.
象徴としてだけではない。私も彼を育てるまでは、それまでは
だ死ねんだだ。左腕に右腕をおとりに使った。ユナイテッドしてるやつだ。
With one final punch, he pushed past everything he had left. He may have lost his power in that moment, but with that iconic pose, he conquered the hearts of the people all over again.
領域展開無料空所。
What you just witnessed was the power of the strongest sorcerer in JJK getting real serious. Usually he's toying with enemies, but when it's about saving civilians, there's no playtime. His domain expansion lasted only 0.2 seconds, a brief moment he chose on purpose, because that's the longest a normal human can survive inside it without suffering permanent damage.
くたびれたぜ銀時。
銀時。
What you just saw wasn't the usual comedy or style. It was the real Gintoki. When he faces Takasugi, he isn't joking, and he isn't hiding behind his usual smile. That's the Gintoki shaped by war, loss, and a past he never talks about. And every swing of his sword shows how deep their connection runs, and why their rivalry is one of the most powerful in anime.
体力も徐々に減っている。うるせえ。
もう終わりなのか。戦いは。
いやまだだ。パワーを引き出せ。
Saitama vs. Boros was one of the few fights where Saitama actually got a little serious. I mean, we had never seen him use a serious punch before. The animation was incredible, and even though Saitama was still Saitama, Boros managed to make the fight feel bigger, louder, and far more intense than anything we'd seen from him before.
それで？待て、私が悪かった。などと言うと思ったか。これが聖域の力だ。
再生回進軍団か。 時間切れだ。
なんだそれは。魔力の塊。いやなぜ魔力が使える。早くそいつを殺せ。
これじゃただのカカシ。遊びは終わりか。Atomic.
What you just witnessed was Sid finally dropping the act. For most of the story, he hides behind jokes, excuses, and that harmless mob character Smile. But in this moment, all of that disappears. I Am Atomic isn't just an attack. It's the one time he shows what he's truly capable of without holding anything back.
死ね。メギド
4214、5575。
一体何が起きておるというのだ。
魔物の国の主なのか。
町を襲撃した異世界人か。
中身は違う。
違いないな。
魔物の国になど手を出したのが間違いだった。
And as the enemy king realized too late, it truly was a mistake to mess with the nation of monsters, because their leader, who usually avoids fighting at all costs, had no choice but to act this time. His people were hurt, and that was the one thing he could never overlook.
俺が守る。
バカな。生きているはずがない。ランサデル・レランパーゴ。なんだと。
When Ichigo first went up against Ulquiorra, he got absolutely overwhelmed, and when there was no hope left, a power deep inside him took over, something so intense that he literally turned into a devil. After this awakening, he became so overwhelmingly strong that Ulquiorra, as you just saw, stood no chance. Ichigo went from defeated to becoming the worst nightmare Ulquiorra had ever faced. You guys really wanted this moment, so I delivered it, and let me know which scenes you want to see next.
彼は死んでいる。もう元には戻せないんだ。ゴン、殺さなきゃいけない。嘘つき。なんだこれは。もうこれで終わってもいい。こいつの牙は王にも届き得た。ありったけを。貴様。
Last on our list, we got Gon, a boy who usually faces the world with a smile, no matter how dangerous things get. But when there was no chance to get his mentor back, he completely lost it. All the kindness and innocence he carried vanished in an instant, and what came out instead was a version of Gon no one ever expected to see. Since you made it all the way to the end, you're a real OG. Thanks for watching. Drop a crew in the comments so I know who actually made it this far. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy this next video too.